Hi, my name is Sherry Pittman, and I'd like to welcome you to this segment of Survive and Thrive with Sherry. Today we have with us a very special guest. Her name is Shawnee Tefteller. Is that correct?
Absolutely.
Shawnee, thank you for joining us today. Appreciate it so much.
Glad to be here.
Shawnee owns her own studio, Shawnee Studios, or is that plural?
It's Shawnee Studios because it has several studios within
Okay.
the
So
business.
the name's not plural, but there are several studios there.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. And she's in Mount
Olive, Illinois.
Olive, Illinois.
Been there for 21 years.
Carmel and all kinds of places ran through my mind there for the Mount. 21 years.
21 years.
You've been in business.
July 21st, 1991 is when we licensed it. Yes.
But you've also been a model yourself.
I still claim it.
Do you?
Absolutely.
You still do some work now?
No, but I still claim it.
When did you start modeling?
Right around when I was 17 years old.
Okay, and how did you get interested in the business? I know a lot of girls are interested, but what got your interest?
Well, first of all, initially when I was young, I wanted to be an art teacher.
Okay.
And I was a very good artist in high school. I won a lot of contests, and I had two art teachers that were kind of mentoring me and wanted to see me actually go into the world of art. And so during a couple of shows that I went to, a photographer saw me and said, "We think you have a great look. We want to do a test shoot with you." That was one of my first experiences. I was scared to death. My older brother went with me, and scared to death in a positive way.
Okay, excited.
My older brother went with me to make sure everything was safe and
Good
all
for
that
him.
kind of thing. And then about 2 years later, when I was 19 and going to college, that's when everything started taking off.
Now, did you go to college in the area? Was it a different area?
I went to college at Morningside College in Sioux City, Iowa.
Okay,
Yeah.
so the same company got a hold of you?
Oh, no. This was a local photographer that approached me, and he was very well known in the geographic area that I was in, and he just thought I had a great look. In fact, a lot of Springfield photographers do that now. They kind of just want to shoot people that they think have good looks and see what they can come up with as far as shots are concerned. And that's really where I got the bug. I thought, oh my gosh, this is so much fun, and I really liked it. I mean, today I'd probably laugh if I saw those pictures, but that's where I got the bug.
I'm sure you have a lot of those pictures. If I had done something like that, I certainly would want to have them.
In 1989, my ex-husband and I had a fire, and I lost quite a bit of my mementos, which I'm very disappointed about. But I have a few things here and there, and we certainly have quite a history, since I've had my own business. But yeah, that was devastating. We lost not only that, but a lot of personal things too that we cherished. So,
wow, sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's a story in itself, how that happened. So,
well, tell me, how long did you model once you got started at 19, I guess, or 17, depending on how you look at it?
I would say that I modeled until I was like 27.
Okay.
For one thing, when I was 27, people still would ask me when I would answer the door, "Is your mother home?"
I see. You have that very youthful look.
Well, at that time I did, yes. And I was lucky enough to be able to carry it for a while. At my last actual position that I did as far as modeling was concerned was when I was 36.
Okay.
That made a lot of money, okay?
A lot of money.
That made a lot of money. I was 36 years old. Yes,
Okay.
and that's been some time ago.
So now, did you use some of that money, that lot of money that you made, to spring into your own business?
No, I did not.
Okay. So
I
how did you get
all
started?
that money.
Well, but had fun, had a great time, or?
And how did I open up my own business?
Yes.
Well, initially what I did is when I moved back here in 1991, I moved back in January of 1991. Previous to living here, I lived in the California area.
Okay.
And I worked in this industry for a large firm. And my family kept saying, we want you to move back, we want you to move back, we want you to be closer to home and all this kind of thing. Well, I moved back, and now I never see any of them, but that was the reason for moving back. And so I really went through a lot of struggle when I first moved back here, because I thought, actually, to be very personal, at that point in time I had gone through a divorce, and it broke my heart, and I really kind of blamed this industry because I traveled so much. And I felt like, if I would have given more time to my relationship, maybe it would have worked out. Well, we all know that it's a combination of everything.
That's right.
So anyway, when I moved back here, I kept thinking, well, maybe I need to do something different. So I came up to Lincoln Land and I took a test to see what my personality would do. And honestly, I even lied on a couple of the questions. I'm not kidding you, I lied. And it still said that I needed to be in this industry.
Really?
So,
and the industry being?
In the modeling and talent industry.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And you had heard that before? That you should be in the industry?
Well, I had been in the industry for a long, long time.
Okay.
I was working in this industry when I moved back from California.
Right. So before, in California, when you got into the industry, you hadn't taken a test before. You had just kind of walked into that as a result of your earlier days with modeling and...
Well, no. The only living that I made after I was 23 years old was in modeling and acting and being in this industry.
Okay.
All the way up to 1991 when I moved back here, I worked for another firm.
Oh, okay.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
So here you are thinking I should do something different. You take a test to find out what you should do different, and it tells you should do what you're doing.
That's right. It's exactly what happened. And so then I started thinking, well, I knew what I needed to have the business, but I just didn't know where I could set it up. And I probably was undercapitalized. You were asking about money. Well, when you're young, you think you're going to have money forever, and it doesn't always work out that way. But
when you're starting your own business too, I don't think you always, especially the first time, you don't understand what all goes into it financially.
You don't realize that $1 is only 63 cents or 53 cents. But anyway, so initially, when I licensed the business in July of 1991, I have a 2-story home in a small town, a small quaint town here in Illinois, and I did everything out of my home. I did not receive people, but I would fax and call, and I did some of the marketing out of my home, and I started looking for a property for Shawnee Studios.
Okay.
And I named it Shawnee Studios because I knew that if I would name it my personal first name, that I would go every day to work, and I work very, very hard because I know how much I believe in my first name.
Okay.
And so a lot of people think I named it that from an ego standpoint, but that's really not why. It just made me get up every day when I didn't feel like getting up and go to work every day.
So there's a story in the name Shawnee?
There is a story. My father named me Shawnee, and he was born on a Cherokee Indian reservation.
Okay.
And he said that his first daughter would be named Shawnee, and here I am. Yes.
Okay, so you're part Cherokee?
I am a quarter Cherokee and Indian.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Wonderful.
I don't really look like I look like my mother's side. She's Irish and English.
Okay.
So that's where the light complexion comes from.
All right.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So now you have your own business, Shawnee Studios.
Right.
And 91 is the year.
Mm-hmm.
And what happens? Where is the next turning point? Do you run into problems, or you continue to glide along?
Well, honestly, we didn't have many challenges. When I initially opened up the business, the biggest positive challenge I had was to have a creative hub to actually receive people. So to make a very long story, kind of the Reader's Digest version, I went to Springfield, I went to Belleville, I went to St. Louis, I went to places and tried to find a place that I knew that I could invest in and it'd be beneficial for my business. And I really didn't want to put something in a mall. I wanted it to be in a unique place. So I didn't find anything that was in my budget, and number two, where I thought it would be accessible for people. And then one Sunday, and I go to church, so one Sunday I had made a reservation with a young lady in Litchfield, Illinois to go and look at properties. and we were going to meet directly after church, and she didn't show up. Now, you have to understand, Sherry, Shawnee then is not the Shawnee you're talking to today.
Oh, the Shawnee then
was a little bit more demanding than she is today. And this young lady,
you've mellowed out a little bit.
I think I have mellowed out, and I think I needed to mellow out. But I brought a little New York and a little Los Angeles back with me at that point in time. But the girl didn't come to the appointment, and I was going to look at a brick building in Litchfield, because Litchfield is where I'm originally from.
Okay.
And the girl didn't show. So lo and behold, she worked for this real estate firm, and I'm not going to say the name because they're still in business.
Sure.
But the owner of the business was in his property, and I went over there and I kind of gave him, what for about her not showing up.
Oh.
So he said, "What are you looking for?" So I told him, "I want one story. I'd like, a couple thousand square feet. I need several different rooms to make different studios and such in them." And he said, "Well, I've got the perfect building for you." I said, "Where is it?" And he said, "Well, it's on, the main drag. It's one floor. A doctor's own it. He built it. He's owned it. He's trying to sell it. Where is it?" And he said, "It's on a corner lot." And I said, I said, "Dean, where is it?" And he said, "It's in Mount Olive." And I said, "There's no way." I said, "Mount Olive's too little. There's too many bars. There's no way like this. I'm not interested." And he said, "Okay." And I said, "Keep your eye out." And I said, "Let me know if you find something." So I went home and I went on with my little business. And 3 days later, he sent me a Polaroid copy of the storefront. And
this is 91, so.
This was in the latter part of 92.
Okay.
Right. And I called him on the phone and I said, "Let's go look at the property." So I went over there and I started looking at it, and I thought, well, this could work. And then I thought, if it doesn't work, which I know it's going to work, but if it doesn't work, I could split it up and make it into apartments. And by November of 1993, I was the proud owner of that building.
Why did it take so long?
Well, actually, this started, you mean me looking for properties?
Well, from 92, the latter part of 92 to 93 before it was actually yours.
Well, because I don't even think I looked at it until like maybe August.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
you kind of put it off for a little bit.
Yeah, well, I didn't put it off. I mean, I was just looking at all kinds of properties.
Okay.
And I didn't look in Litchfield till the very last, because I was really wanting to get into a larger metropolitan area.
But it's been working for you.
Perfectly. Great. I love it. I really do.
What do you love most about it?
That when I walk into the building, it feels like I'm in my creative element.
Okay. Okay.
I've had a number of people who've come into the business and they say, you come into this small town and then you walk in here and it feels like you're in a totally different area.
That New York and California is there, huh?
Well, I think it is in a very eclectic, creative way. It's not chrome and glass, it's not stuffy, it's not rude, it's not pretentious, but it is, it's full of personality. And when I initially opened it up, Sherry?
Yes.
I
have to take a quick break, so we'll be right back.
Perfect.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Sherry Pittman, and I'd like to welcome you to join us in watching Survive and Thrive with Sherry every Wednesday morning at 7:30 a.m. on Fox Channel 7 WRSP. You can also catch us on Access 4 at 10:30, 4:30, and again at 10:30 p.m. We look forward to having you join us, watching the show. We'd love to talk about marriages and other things as well, and we look forward to seeing you then. Thank you. Well, we're back with Shawnee Tefteller, and we have been talking about you and your modeling agency, your modeling career, and it's all that you've been doing. You've done acting and modeling, and now you have your own business, and you've had your own business for 21, going on 22 years now, and you were just sharing with us about how you came across your studio, the story behind how you ended up in the place that you are, kind of a small town.
It's very small.
But very much at home and a wonderful place as far as your business is concerned. You could not have just picked a better place yourself besides the one that the realtor actually suggested to you. So you've been here now in this location how long?
That the business itself has been in that building. We opened the business in '91. We moved in the building in November of '93.
Okay.
So if
Good-
it's 21,
good 10 years.
19 years.
Good, almost 20 years, excuse me.
Yeah.
So a person in this business, tell me a little bit about what a person would be like that wants to. There's lots of people who want to be in the business, and I know you told me you don't have to advertise. There's word of mouth is everywhere in terms of the talent itself. And then you have very steady clients that you work with on a regular basis, that you hook up the talent with the client and send the talent off on assignments and da 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 da. So if a person wanted to be a talent, there's so many people want to do that. What do they need to bring to the table?
Here's what we do, okay? And this is not done worldwide or nationwide, but what we initially do is we try to talk to them on the phone, and we see where they really are at. You know, some people think it's a very simple thing. Overnight successes take years. So, but we talk to them on the phone. In fact, on the way up here, I talked to 2 different people that were referred to me. So then we ask them to send images, snapshots, or if they have something professionally done. One of the gentlemen that I talked to on the way up here has a resume, has a headshot, and he has worked in Los Angeles, so he's probably going to be pretty ready for the business.
So why is that so important, Shawnee?
Well, a couple of reasons. One is we need to see if they're marketable for our clientele that we have. And, when I say marketable, so many people concentrate on my business being a modeling business, okay? 90% of what we do is on-camera pieces, television commercials, industrial films, movies, made-for-TV movies, music videos, things of that nature. Now, the graph, when you do a business graph, which I try to do every year to see where our money's come from.
Sure.
My accountant and I do that. But at one point in time, it was a combination of print work, runway work, on-camera work, promotional work, those kind of things. And it's changed in the last few years only because you said just a moment ago that we have ongoing positions. You okay?
I'm sorry. I should have got a drink earlier, but go ahead.
We have ongoing positions with companies and things. Honestly, our business is affected by the recession just like anybody's business is affected. And I want to clarify and say that we have some of the same clients that we've had since the day we've opened up because they know the quality of people that we represent.
Clients in terms of those that you bring talent to, as opposed to the clients that are coming to, talent that's coming to you.
We call clients that we book the talent with clients, and then we call talent.
Right, so the audience understands. I know we got a lot of young people out there watching and they're going, client, talent, which one's which, where do I fit?
Right.
A young person wanting to enter into the business, or older person who wants to be in a commercial or in some type of the film industry, some type of way, they would be the talent.
Absolutely.
And then the company that is going to actually shoot the film and do all the background work and all that, they're the client, just so we understand.
Absolutely. And those clients, they still call upon us for talent because they know the quality of people that we have. That's the other point that I think that is important for people to realize. So many people think that all they have to do is just call an agency, a manager, or someone, and they automatically will do things. It's really not like that. It's almost like developing a relationship with a doctor, an attorney, or someone like that. They need to develop a relationship because there's a trust factor between the two entities. I mean, you have to understand the talent that you're working with, as well as understand the client that you're sending the talent to. We don't willy-nilly or arbitrarily work with a client. What we do is when a client calls us, we ask for certain information if they're brand new, because we're not going to send somebody out if we don't feel like it's a safe place for them to go.
Right. So if you have a new client, and they're suspicious or something, then that makes sense to just kind of pull back or ask more questions, get more information.
And that's such a strong word, suspicious. But
I'm sorry.
But there are people who are suspicious.
Yes.
But that's not the lion's share of people that call us. I'll give an example. We had a young person that just called us recently. Very, very wonderful young person that is extremely good in so many areas of this business. And he didn't like the fact that I wouldn't give phone numbers of my talent. And I said, there's a reason for that. And I said, let me explain. And I said, I don't give out phone numbers, addresses, anything, emails, nothing on the people that I represent until I know you well enough to understand what your mission is. And I said, when we have a good relationship and we understand the strength of our relationship, then those things will come. You know, on the other hand, and I'm not going to lie about this either, the other day I had a young man, and I almost called his number back because I thought he was like a 16-year-old. He had called, not blocked his number, and asked for a couple of models to be sent to his home. And you know what I said? No, that is not this kind of business. And number two, do not call here again. And I really did. I almost called that number back, and but it was probably just a little kid being silly at home.
Oh, right.
But that definitely was somebody that we weren't interested in calling us ever again.
So now, does the trust factor work? You describe the relationship between you and the client, and you're kind of protecting the talent, if you will. Mm-hmm. Is there a trust factor between you and the talent as well?
Well, yes, and I think that's one of the reasons why so many people do stay attached to us, is that, like, when young girls that are 14 to 19 years old, their parents know that we're going to be very careful with them and send them to the right people. Our actors who are at our young creatives that work hard. I mean, everyone that we represent, Sherry, they have full-time jobs. They take their sick days, their vacation days to go and do work. So I'm not going to send them to an audition that isn't going to materialize into something that's beneficial to them. So they trust and they know that if I call them on the phone, it's not something that I made up. It's not something that I haven't researched. They know that this is something that is serious and bona fide, and that they can go and do it and actually become a part of something that's going to be worthwhile.
Shawnee, where is your what city or area are the majority of your clients?
Don't have one. I wish I could say that. I don't have that.
It's just that you did the numbers with your accountant, so you know where your money's coming in
well,
at.
No, but what we do is that's an overall. In terms of clients, we have clients in St. Louis, Chicago, Carbondale, Peoria, Champaign, Springfield, Quincy. Mm-hmm. We have clients all over Central Illinois and Northern Illinois, and we've done work all the way as far south as Springfield, Missouri.
And I know you said that a good number of your clients have been with you like 20 plus years, right, or whatever. Mm-hmm. Would you say that you've had, out of all those cities, you've had all those cities represented over 20 years?
I would say that once we have a client that calls us and we get the information on them and we know who they are, and
right,
and
you're good.
Okay. Well, yes, we keep them as a client until they either go out of business or that kind of thing. Now, the thing that I want to be clear about is that clients use talent intermittently. It's not a constant thing. And also, unless they get somebody as a spokesperson and they pay for exclusivity, then what happens is they use a variety of talent all the time.
I see.
The ongoing jobs that we used to do, and we don't do them much anymore, because now a lot of them are farmed out to housewives that are looking for work because of the economy. We used to do a lot of promotional things for Procter & Gamble and things of that nature, and our ladies would go out and they'd buy, our young girls that were 16 would buy new cars with their jobs that they did. They could work every weekend if they wanted to. But now a lot of that is, like I said, they can get a housewife for less money, so that's how they do it. But that
makes sense.
Yeah, believe me, that I understand why they're doing it, and that's that's comfortable with us.
So does the talent then go to different cities?
Absolutely.
You have talent that
Always.
frequently go from one city to another if they want to kind of have somewhat of a regular job, for lack of a better way of saying it.
Well, if they want a booking, a position,
Okay.
that's one of the things that I talked to about one of the experienced gentleman that called me today. He is very accustomed to driving, and like I'm sure you're aware of the fact that we cast the entire Final Witness episode.
Oh, I don't think I was aware of that.
Yeah, we cast the entire thing. And a lot of the talent, of course, came from Shawnee Studios, but we put an all-points bulletin out to contemporaries in St. Louis, Belleville, Collinsville, Springfield, Peoria,
So
Champaign.
other agencies
Jackson.
got involved?
No.
No.
No other agencies.
No.
Just like Gus Gordon here in town, Steve Tankersley, Kate Friesna down in St. Louis, Ray Mojo. These are people in the acting and the modeling industry that use talent. Like Gus uses a lot of wonderful actors at the Hoogland, and I hope that's okay.
That's fine. We've had them as a guest. We have just a few short seconds.
Sure.
Tell me what makes Shawnee Studios better than the rest.
Because we personalize and individualize. Because we realize the quality of our business extends only to the people that we represent.
Only to them.
We're nothing without them.
And it's been that way for
21 years.
21 years.
Yes.
Well, we're so glad, Shawnee, that you could join us today. Thank you for being my guest.
Thank you for
We
having
look
me.
forward to seeing you again, maybe.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. And we'll talk with you next time.